Guys, what's going on? It's Gunnar here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to kind of get back in a little bit of a routine to kick out some more consistent videos here, right? You know, we're kind of trickling out of deer season. I've still got muzzleloader season. I ended up not getting a deer with the gun, but I'm still going to be going with a muzzleloader, and that's kind of what I kind of want to talk about here today. There's a massive opportunity that's going to present itself here on Thursday. And regardless of where you're at, if you've still got a bow tag, if you can still hunt with archery equipment in your state, it's going to be a massive opportunity there as well. But here, specifically for me, it's going to be taking place with a muzzleloader. My archery tag's already punched. I can't use a rifle because the 9-day gun season's over, but I still can use the muzzleloader. And this is a massive opportunity, not just because of the weather side of things, but this is when deer start to become very predictable, or a lot more predictable for guys like me with small acreage. You know, if you do happen to have a primary food source at this time of the year, into the late season, we're into December now, and if you do have some snowfall, if you do have some harsh weather, some cold temperatures, those deer are going to want to get up on their feet in daylight, and they're going to need to feed. You know, in this post-rut time period, these bucks have been through hell, essentially, in the last month, and they're trying to put the weight back on that they've lost. So this is the perfect time to key in on those food sources, and that's exactly what I'm going to talk about here today. But first and foremost, what we're looking at here weather-wise, being Wednesday, December 4th into Thursday, December 5th, is we're looking at a complete 180 change in going from inclement weather to high skies, light winds, perfect bluebird day. But what we've got going on here is we've got 30-mile-an-hour winds right now, consistent, gusting upwards to 40. So it's nasty out right now, and we're looking at rain and some mixture of snow. I'm hoping for a little bit more snow. We've got a dusting out here right now, and that's shown to be at least enough to get them out of the timber and into these ag fields. But I'd like to see like 2, 3, 4 inches just to make sure those deer have to feed on the standing beans and the food plots that I have out right now. But this is a massive opportunity because anytime that you have these big weather fronts, these heavy winds, the nasty rain, the nasty snow, these deer are laid up. And the perfect timing of all of this is in the afternoon hours, right? It's about noon right now, and this front is pushing in through the afternoon hours into this evening, and the temperature is dropping all day. It's about 35 degrees right now, hence why it's a little bit of rain and a little bit of snow mixture. But as that temperature drops in the afternoon hours here, it's going to be dropping all day. By dark, it's going to be in the single digits and feel below zero with those wind chills. So these deer are going to be hunkered down. It's going to be nasty. They're not going to want to move with these heavy winds. They're not going to feel good. They're not going to feel safe. So these deer are going to be laid up. And what that does is that sets up for missed feedings, and that sets up to make deer desperate. Think of it this way. Anytime you miss breakfast or you miss lunch or you miss dinner, that next feeding, you're pretty desperate to eat. You know, you're ready to rock. That's how these deer are going to feel once they miss that afternoon, evening food source movement here because of this inclement weather. That following day, those feedings are going to be exponentially more important because those deer are hungry and they are desperate. And especially with these very cold temperatures that we're going to be looking at, it's going to be a dynamite night. And if you got a tag, you're going to want to be hunting, because I can guarantee you I'm going to be sitting in a box blind with that heater cranking, and I'm going to be watching a food source. So that's kind of the plan as of right now. But along with those heavy winds and that rain and that snow mixture, and it's laying these deer up, the temperature for tomorrow is going to be 15 degrees less for a high than it was today, right? I talked about it's mid-30s right now, 35, 36. It's going to be 18 degrees for a high in the air temp tomorrow. So that's a massive drop. These deer are going to feel really good, and they're going to feel shocked at the end of the day. They're going to think, okay, it's getting nasty out. We have to feed. But we had that big weather front. You know, we didn't want to move. We didn't feel secure. Our senses weren't keen because we had those 30-mile-an-hour winds. We had that rain. We had the snow, and they don't want to move in that stuff. But once those skies start to clear and that cold temperature, that big drop out in the temperature rolls in, you can expect those deer to feed early in daylight, and you can expect to see a lot of deer if you have that high-quality food source right now. And what I'm sitting over is going to be standing beans. It's going to be an acre or so of standing beans that's been broadcasted with rye. You know, the whole field's been drilled with winter rye as a cover crop, and I couldn't bring the drill through those standing beans, so I'm broadcasting into there the same pounds per acre. So I have double dip on the food source, right? I have standing grain and I have a green food source, and I've also got that field lined with a brassica blend. So I've got everything that these deer could potentially want. And depending on what this weather system does, if we get a couple inches or if we get just another dusting, that's still going to be highly attractive because it's going to force these deer out of the timber enough to get them off maybe some leftover acorns, and they're not going to want to be browsing all day long. They're going to want to hit something that's going to fill them up. And with those soybeans being high level of nutrition, those brassicas being very highly attractive, these deer are going to be hitting those food sources. So that's what I'm keying in on right now. If you have a tag in your pocket, I want to stress to you guys, this is a massive opportunity. The 4th into the 5th of December here, muzzleloader season, it's going to be really good. So if you do have food sources, if you do have a deer that's hitting those food sources, that's just a little bit beyond daylight, he should show up with this big temp drop, this big storm system rolling in, and the late season being a little bit more patternable when it comes to the bedding to food source movement with these deer. I actually went out and I sat the same blind over the same standing beans that I'm gonna be going into on Thursday here. I sat it on Monday, and I had a really old deer. He showed up, but it was just too dark, couldn't make it out, couldn't get a good shot, so I just opted to, you know, let him feed, come get picked up by the four-wheeler, spook the field with a diesel Kubota, and I don't have to blow the field getting out of this blind. The four-wheeler comes, picks me up with the lights, the diesel sound, these deer are used to it. That's how we get to these blinds and get out of these blinds in the late season. These deer acclimate to that diesel noise, the diesel engine running. They think it's just the farmer checking the field because it's not associated with danger. So that's how I'm safely hunting this and getting away with spooking 10, 12, 15 deer off the food source right at dark with that four-wheeler because they're used to this and they're not associating it with danger. If I were to get out of the blind and just start walking back home, these deer would be like, what the heck? A human just got out of that blind? Okay, no go, right? But they think that four-wheeler is just the farmer checking the field, doing whatever, so they don't associate that with danger. So it's not going to affect the food source movement the following days, the following weeks that food source is prevalent. So that's what I want to stress to you guys is you have to be a little bit patient when you are hunting late season. These deer have been hunted all year. They're very spooky. They're finicky. They're not going to tolerate much. They know what's going on. They've been hunted for months now, right? So that is what I want to stress to you guys. I could have been hunting every single day this week, right? I hunted Monday. I saw a really good buck, mature deer. Gonna kill him. I want to kill him. But the weather just wasn't right the last 2 days. The weather wasn't right on Tuesday, and it's not right today. I'm waiting for that picture-perfect weather system to roll in here this afternoon, force these deer to lay up and miss that feeding, and then Thursday it's going to be dynamite. I'm expecting to kill one. I can't wait to bring it to you guys. Good luck. I hope you get out.